So this is the kind of the spirit of. So these are obviously, they were sleeves, and then now they are like
half sleeves.
full sleeves.
I have a sweater which was shrunken in a dryer.
Yeah,
Oh, cute.
You know, so
yeah.
like sling back.
Oh, that's the sleeves. That's brilliant.
Sleeve it, it's a whole of the sweater. I didn't even cut it.
That is brilliant.
So you just sewed the bottom and the sleeves together?
And then the neck hole is the opening
Just
to
the
the
bigger.
bag?
Yes.
I like it.
So I kind of fold it this way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then sew it, and then use the handle as a
Yeah.
That's really cool. And especially with sweatshirts.
Yeah.
That'd be super cute. Yeah, I like
You
that.
can even just tie it, right? You don't even have to sew it.
coming off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's cool. I like that.
I have these kind of a sweater, like a kind of a muffler styles of a sweater.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You see your bottom at the back.
Yeah.
Like it. So I kind of sew the front of the muffler,
Yeah.
but made it kind of a long coat.
Oh, okay. I see what you did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I like the little hole at the back.
Here.
Yeah, but it's cute.
I like it because I don't see my bum bum. I buy it from the Bella Village and just sew them and then alternate to the.
Yeah.
Because I often look at those and think, what am I gonna do with that? It's not actually gonna keep me that warm.
It used to be really hit, so there are so many these items.
Yeah.
You could buy it at the Bella Village.
I know. I really like when there's like massive trends and all of the girls get them and then they get bored and I'm like, excellent. Now I have sweaters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I bought this Bella Village. I think this was for the liner for winter jacket.
Yeah.
It's a big size.
Yeah.
But then I cut them the color, which was really outdated style.
Yeah.
Some really good outfits,
It's great.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Wear with the hoodie styles.
Yeah. There's something about taking the collar off things that immediately streamlines it and makes it look nicer. It's a skirt made from a pillowcase. I mean, this is the advantage of having a small child, right? Pillowcases fit around their waist, but they do, and they're like 99 cents. So, right? So you have some extra elastic. I put some lace around the bottom, and then she's happy. This one, I know she's in motion. That actually is an adult skirt so it had a lot of elastic around the waist. So what I did was I had some pleated ribbon and I made straps, and then those bed skirts.
Yeah.
I cut a band of eyelet off and I made an underskirt for her attached underneath, and then she obviously really liked it. It was a good twirling dress. So this used to be my shirt, and so I tucked it. I did some tucking here, the sides, and re-sewed them. And then and then what happened is that she had still a lot on top. So I cut a seam here, like I sewed a seam here, and then to cover the seam, I gathered it a bit to pull the whole thing in. I just put some ribbon on top.
You can also do a drawstring, right? Like
Yeah, you could do a drawstring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have like the little bow.
Yeah.
That was a pillowcase too.
I also like working with pillowcases and curtains. Yeah.
Right? Pillowcases and curtains are the best.
Yeah, so that's really from a pillowcase.
Yeah.
And I just used the whole rectangle.
Yeah.
So the sleeves are part of the rectangle. And then of course it was a bit too tight once it was sewn. So I added that panel in the middle, which was the thingy of the pillowcase.
The hem.
The hem, yeah.
It's really cute. That's really brilliant and very architectural. I can see like your background in the clothes.
I don't have a photo, but I got it now.
Oh, show and
This
tell.
is actually like my favorite and most used alteration thing. And
Okay.
you've all seen
Oh.
it, I think. It was like this, like a normal like men's sweater.
Oh, very
And
nice.
then okay. So this
Yeah, I have never.
becomes a
Wow.
this is the neck,
That's the neck hole.
and then I just close this part.
Bottom, right?
And then you opened up the side seam?
Yeah, open the side. Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's like, and then I added a button thing. There.
Yeah, I have never quite wrapped my head around that.
Yeah.
Leftover curtains.
Haha.
So I had to cut my curtains because they were too long, so that's the bottom part. So like IKEA, you know, like IKEA linen.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm pretty proud of the sleeves.
So how did you do the sleeves? It looks like a boxy kind of thing, and then you sewed up the sides, but did you fold, like, are the sleeves from the hem, or?
No, I had to fold them.
You
I had
folded
to
them,
fold
okay.
it, yeah.
So did you cut out a shape?
I cut out the shape.
Yeah.
Just like
Square?
that.
Is it square or it's
No,
kind
it's a rectangle.
Yeah.
And then I decided it needed a bit more shape, so I sort of tapered the bottom. Then what I realized after, I forgot to put pockets. So
Right, so you make your pocket,
yeah,
and you don't even have to hem it. Like you make your pocket.
yeah.
This is an unfinished edge, and
Yeah.
then you open up your seam, and you
then
insert it.
and then flip it. Yeah. Okay,
This is a sheet?
that was a sheet. Yeah, it was a fitted sheet. So if you look at the bottom, that's why it's like,
Oh, you left the
It's
fitted
like
in.
yeah.
Oh.
So that one, I really just folded it in half. Like if you imagine the sheet, and then I folded it in half and then cut the waist.
That's hilarious.
The sheet. Yeah. And then, so the top got a bit complicated because I was like, maybe I don't actually know how to do elastics. So,
That's hilarious.
folded it here.
Yeah.
You see it? And then I added like a belt from another sheet.
Oh, and you made like
With
pockets.
pockets, so there are pockets. And so, yeah, and you tie it in the back. So it just sort of gathers when
Oh.
you, like,
Wow, Leia, that is a complicated runaround to avoid learning how to put elastic in
I
a
know, right?
skirt.
it's a pretty cool detail, I feel. Like,
It's
you can
really cool.
put, like, you know, so it would really, you'd see the fabric.
Other pattern, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
I could
funny.
just learn to use elastics.
Was that a pillowcase in the pockets of pillowcase?
Were they not your pillowcase? I think you said that.
Ah!
I think you mentioned that you recognized the pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ray, can I see the hemline?
So,
Is it elastic?
right there.
Oh,
Yeah. So you know how some fitted sheets only have the elastic on the corners, but some fitted sheets have the elastic all the way around.
yeah.
That's awesome.
On the side, so this is the side. You just sew it,
That's
so
hilarious.
it's closed, and then it's like a little split.
You are so funny.
So is it the full sheet, or you just kind of figured out how long you want it to be and then cut off at the waist?
I think it's a full sheet.
That's really amazing.
You're so like genius.
Yeah. She is kind of a clothes savant.
I had a question about process for you guys, like especially I know June and Leia, like you kind of start doing something and you're just sort of, do you do a lot of like turning things around and
Yeah.
yourself, or how do you approach?
For me, I don't like cut and sew so much because of the fray. I kind of I wanna reduce the process of making. So I did it just one cut.
Ah.
So kind of I put it diagonally, and then I try to make how can make things up. So
Like as few seams as possible.
yes,
Ooh, I like that. Is that another bag?
I made it from the square fabric. But it's kind of, I need to figure out how I did it, but I did it. It's really nice.
Yeah, they are nice.
Yes.
Oh my god, it's adorable.
Yeah, so back when the kids were littler, when they were, kind of grade 4, grade 6, on March break, we get together for 2 days over the March break, and we just, we'd host a camp. And it would be upcycling doll making, or doll clothes making. So people would bring their dolls. And again, we're trying to do things, figure out ways that we can use things without sewing them too much. that same approach that Julia has, where it's like, okay, well,
Mhm.
what can we use that's already there? So this one was like an elasticized sundress.
Mhm.
So they just cut it and sewed that part of the dress and made it into a doll-sized dress. And sometimes they wanted to get more creative. They would like cut things and tie them together.
Mhm.
The t-shirts are really good because they don't fray, like any kind of knits like that, because they don't fray, and you can kind of cut a sleeve and make it into a skirt. A sock on top of a of a bear.
So cute.
And it's just made into a hat. So it's just like this sort of non-sewing thing.
I think that was like one of my first sewing projects as a kid.
Yeah.
That's how I started sewing, right? Was making
Cute,
clothes for
yeah.
the dolls.
Yeah. Yeah, I think same.
My mom said that too, except she made doll clothes from patterns.
You ever
And
tried
I did-
making clothes for a Barbie? They're like the worst, like proportion-wise,
Right? Tiny, tiny. No, tiny.
But like when you're first starting to do alterations of things, like if you can keep the seams that are there,
Yeah.
it makes it a lot more. It makes it look a lot better. You can either make it as like a dress like this,
Yeah.
or if she's a bit, you can like clip it together and make it into a little collar.
Yeah.
Making them into something else that does not take a lot of work, but it just requires rethinking what that thing is and being willing to cut things apart.
Especially because some kinds of fitting and some kinds of sewing take a lot of time, and so if a factory has already done that, I'd like to preserve as much as possible, right? I don't want to I don't want to have to redo it. I'm lazy.
What's your favorite kind of like fasteners that are simple, and what do you find most daunting? I guess for me, like the idea of sewing a buttonhole and having a button go through it, that seems very daunting, and I'd rather find a button and a buttonhole already made. And I know that sort of layout with yours, you kind of tend to leave like the collar is really wide, right? So you don't have to think about different.
Yeah, so like avoiding fasteners is my favorite.
Avoiding fasteners. Yeah. So with a men's shirt, I'd rather take the collar off, leave the placket and the buttons, and then I will gather it in the back, right? So I'm not having to redo things, or just add elastic. Like elastic isn't too bad. I've kind of gotten used to it. It's a bit finicky, but elastic is a lot easier for me to add than trying to fit buttons properly on my waist. So, although I like Leah's tie idea because I collect, but I keep good ties. So like I have like from old aprons, I've got ties.
Yeah, that's right. That too. I've got like those overall things.
Yeah, and anything where I've cut off that I think might be useful again. So like, because actually making straps is a pain in the ass, right? So if I can cut them off nice, or if they already exist, I mean, they're not that bad. Like you just cut it and you sew it and then you turn it inside out, but still, it's nicer if it's already done, right? It's finicky little work that I'd rather have already done. This is a nice one, right? It's cute.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Right? So I just keep a stash.
And I guess ribbons too are another. I like ribbons.
Yeah.
Finishing things and for covering up things.
Go-to I have also is like leather. Like I would use a piece of leather and cut the hole for a
Oh, that's a good runaround.
You don't have to sew it. Like hams and stuff, right? Why do it again if it's there?
Just sew up the side, right? And sew up the side, attach the back, and then you've got like this cute cover-up kind of thing.
Do you guys have any other like things you want to offer, or questions or anything for each other?
I just really appreciate the different perspectives. Like the way you guys approach clothes is a lot different than the way I do, and so I think I'm going to try some new stuff just based on stealing your ideas.
Same me. Yeah. Really nice talk.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice seeing you.
Thank you guys. That was really fun. Thank you for coming out on a Saturday morning.
This is going to be a great movie.